Apparently, if you go, like there's like a cat call you can do. If you go, meh, it's like to come here. Meh,
I don't think it works.
meh.
Is it your
Wait, who translated that? What do you mean?
TikTok.
Of course.
Oh,
TikTok.
God.
Meh, meh.
He's not coming.
He will though. He hears me.
Yeah, his ears are perking, but it's not.
See, he hears it. He's just disobedient. It's fine. Someone else try.
Come here, you dirty old cat.
Imagine that works.
That's the actual one.
Yeah.
Make it more gritty.
All right, this is the YouTube, or this is the Instagram clip. Is you guys trying to call the cat?
You got boulders now.
To no avail. He just loves to embarrass me. That's the thing.
Yeah, cats are. I have 2 cats and a dog, and it's so interesting, like when you live with both at the same time, to see how like fundamentally different their personalities are.
Yeah.
Cats are so above it. Like they're like, it's so weird. They're just like too. Like I've seen, like I'll walk in on one of my cats playing, and they'll stop. Like they're like, oh, I don't want to be seen this vulnerable. Like, and it's so weird.
Embarrassed.
Let's jump back right into this. We have so much technical difficulty here on Bandecdotes. It should come as no surprise. Everything is DIY. That's how we roll here. It's just how it goes. This is the second attempt at us trying to actually third, right? This is not our third. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, it is what it is. Part of the reason is because our second attempt, I was stuck with my son, trying to put him to sleep. Super last minute, couldn't make it happen. And then the first time,
we had the most technical issues.
Yeah.
An ungodly amount.
We're here. Everything's good now. I'm just a voice for most of these folks here, but that's okay. That's how we're rolling here. Mm-hmm. We're rolling with the budgets. All right. If folks want to introduce yourself and your roles in the band.
Cool. It's Jesse, and then this way.
Okay.
I like this.
You
had rock anyway.
You go.
You go first.
All right.
Go clockwise.
My name is Dylan. I play guitar and do backing vocals in Sewn.
My name's Brett. I play drums in Sewn.
Allie, I do vocals in Sewn.
I'm Jesse, and I play bass and the electronic stuff in Sewn.
I guess we can jump right into it. You do the keyboards and the bass at the same time. I think even when Tyler said he saw you, he said you do that live too. That's not just like something you did for the video with the EP. How does one pick that up? How did you decide to quite literally play 2 instruments at once?
I want to make it very clear for anyone watching. We're not saying like he has a keyboard and sometimes he uses it and sometimes he plays bass. I watched you live hammer on a bass and play keys at the same time. It was like the most memorable thing I took away from your guys' set was watching you do that shit. And that's why I wanted to make sure you were here for this interview too, because I wanted to tell you that was absurd to watch someone do live. Like it's absolutely crazy. It was so sick.
Thank you, homie. Thank you. That's really sweet.
How do you? So yeah, what goes into like pulling that? Like I don't. How do you even frame a question like that? Like, is it just like, are you just like super dexterous with both fingers, or like?
Why? Just why?
Yeah, how does someone do that? Is what my question is.
I don't know. I guess I'm just like interested in getting the most possible voices in the music that we can do, and since we're only 4 people and I got 2 hands, I could probably stick a keyboard in one and put a bass in the other. I already got the bass on anyway. I don't know, honestly. Like in other projects that I've had, musical endeavors that I've done, like I've kind of honed that skill. I've had to do that in multiple other like bands and projects and stuff where maybe not necessarily playing it at the same damn time, but like usually I have like a little setup with my instrument nearby. So over time, I'm just like kind of, and it's all like, if I'm doing that, it's because one or both of the parts are pretty easy. So it's like, yeah, I can do it, but if you look closely at what I'm doing, it's not like I'm shredding on either one at the same time, right?
It's still wacky. It's still crazy to see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any specific artist you get inspired to do something like that? Like, is there like, like obviously you're good at both of them. How does one walk into doing like I don't like was it just one day you're like I can manage to do both?
Honestly, yeah. Like to be honest, like I haven't. There's not like a person that I've watched do that I'm like, oh, I should try doing it. And it's like, no, it's just come out of necessity, really.
Did you just like try it during a practice or a jam one day? Like I could probably do both these at the same time.
Yeah. It's like if I can swing it, like if there's a part where it's possible, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do it, and like.
You also hate laptops.
Yeah. I want to get as like we do have like a few like pre-recorded like backing tracks for our songs with like some synths in the background, but I don't want to do all backing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that was going to be the next thing I brought up. Like most people would just automate something like that, or like automate it into holding one key maybe, and like have like the vocalist walk up and hold the key or something. So yeah, it's just a really interesting approach.
I think more than anything, it's for this exact reason. It's to like look cool. It's to make people be like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
It's cool. It's cool.
Anything you can do to kind of just like put yourself one step ahead of other bands and other art, like anything you could possibly do to make yourself memorable.
He also bleeds on stage, and I think it's on purpose at this point.
I'm a big bleeder, but I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Not the London one. The
Very
London one
injury
wasn't on
prone.
purpose.
Oh, boy.
Yes, that was a bad one.
It's never on purpose. I don't want to bleed on stage, but in the
what happened in London? Why are you bleeding all the time?
that was I had an injury in my have you seen Hot Fuzz, the movie Hot Fuzz?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you seen that? You know at the end
Oh
where
yeah, I love that movie.
it's impaled through the through the chin.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like what is it? Under your neck here?
Right.
I got it there, right? And it was really bloody, violent.
It was bad.
Yeah.
There was like a chunk of skin hanging off. And
How did you get in it? What do you mean? What happened?
We were like playing on the floor with like a really rowdy audience, and like I guess I got bumped, and I think the strap lock, if you can imagine, like if I'm playing bass, the strap lock is like a little spike sticking up here, and something happened. It went bam into my neck, and man, my jugular is right here, so it's like
it was how it
You
sounds.
weren't very
It was
happy
so
about that one.
no, I was. It didn't like.
That was a bad one.
It didn't really hurt as much as I was like shocked and pissed at myself that I would let that happen. You know what I mean? But
It looked cool.
You were laughing about the Guelph one. The Guelph one, you were like, that was sick. No, maybe not.
What
That
happened
was sick.
What happened in Guelph?
the
The Guelph, his scar that he has above his eyebrow.
Yeah.
we don't have to keep talking about how I get hurt.
No, let's keep talking about how you get hurt. What happened in Guelph?
Sorry, Jesse.
no,
down that rabbit
it's all right. But like, I don't want to keep getting hurt. I think from now on, I'm going to try to take it a little bit easier. Like not.
You're dropping the shtick.
Enough. I'm getting old.
I recently watched a video of the Chariot play, like an earlier set of theirs, and like I don't know if you're familiar with the band, but they're like absolutely bananas, and they like break stuff during their set, and they're like climbing all over their amps, and then like in between songs, they're like, listen, like we don't play our songs perfectly, we just like want like the people to feel how our set is, and sometimes that comes through like sometimes bleeding a bit on stage, and that I totally get that. Like I definitely accidentally made myself bleed on stage, and it can be quite shocking to the audience. And but like honestly, it's just sometimes how it rolls. Sometimes you just get into the groove. You know how it is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I love to hear it. And that's kind of like if you're playing aggressive, nasty music like that, then I think it's much more likely to happen than if you were like in a folk band or in a jazz band or something like that.
And you never know, though.
You never know.
Those guys go fucking hard.
They can. Old swing bands.
Yeah.
People just flying across.
Like human Beyblades.
Yeah, exactly.
Swing bands. That's got to be where moshing came from.
It's definitely a close cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff, yeah.
So you guys have this really cool music video that pairs perfectly with this EP. It is super, super ambitious, and Tyler and I have done a reaction to it, and I'll say it again in this. It's very big to pull off, and you guys pulled it off really well. It pairs super. You know how like people talk about how like you can watch the Pink Floyd and the Wizard of Oz and it goes perfectly. You somehow did that with your own creation. You guys have like nailed this whole visual concept. It's super complex, and actually, I guess while we're here, we want to get into a bit of what the video kind of is about. Did you folks want to explain a bit about it, or do you guys just want to leave it up to the viewers? It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I can get into it a little bit. So it is kind of like an underlying concept EP. And Onlooker is supposed to be about this person who goes into this state of psychosis. And it's the feeling of watching a person that you really love go through these huge swings of emotion and all these different states of being. But in the end of Onlooker, the person actually dies. And Interim is kind of like them going, to wherever it is you go. And right before you get there is when our third song starts. And that's kind of when life pulls you back into this karmic wheel. And so Truth of Suffering is this wheel of suffering where you have to repeat the mistakes you've made from your past lives. And that's kind of what it is. So he's now bound and going back into life, trying to learn from the lessons from his previous.
I like that.
That's incredibly poetic.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear someone articulate something that metaphorical.
I'm
It's,
so happy you did well.
Yeah, that was well done. I was going to say.
I was a little scared.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I also, before we move on, we said it when we did our first try at this interview and we had the tech issues, but we loved Interim. Like that interlude track, like I think Phil was saying Legend of Zelda. I was calling it like Final Fantasy menu music. Like it sounded so great. So to glaze you up a bit more, yeah, great electronic work on there. It was really cool. And yeah, the video shot super well, very, very ambitious. I think one of the things me and Phil kept saying as we were watching it was like, this would be so easy to fuck up and make look cheesy and make look corny. And you guys really killed it. It made a really good impression.
It's great to hear. It was Josh Wong who shot the whole thing. His first time ever doing a music video, and he absolutely freaking crushed it.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
That's amazing. That's that's wow.
He came up with all the shots himself. We kind of gave him like the storyline of how we saw it. And then he came back with us tenfold. And he was like, this is how the whole thing is going to progress. And it was just insane to see his creativity bounce off of what we felt. And then it just meshed together so well.
Yeah.
That was something we were so curious about, was like, did you guys have this like visual idea sort of storyboarded for what you wanted, or what was it like a product of someone else coming in and interpreting your music? That's actually so cool. And it's smart to be as collaborative like that and to be open to having people come in and help you like expand on your vision. That's so sick. That's really cool. And then with mixing and mastering, you guys worked with Luc on this, right?
Yeah.
With all our songs, we work with Luc.
Yeah.
Till the day we die.
Luc's the man. Yeah, Luc's great. We if you for the viewers watching, if you haven't checked out our conversation with Luc and Matt from Naked Burn, watch it. It was really fun. Luke and Matt are both such interesting guys and such talented guys, like outside of their band itself. So yeah, shout out Luke. We love you.
So I mean, you got the video and you've got the EP coming out. If you and we did touch a bit about how if you did have physical copies, that would be something that you would want to do. But is there something, is to say, in a perfect world, if you had the biggest budget, like would you introduce some of those theatrics maybe like to your live performances? Because I know like in that video, there's like quite a bit going on, especially in that interlude. There's quite a bit of cinematography going on, and it's very dramatic, and it'd be really cool. Do you have any interest in like introducing that to your live set? Is that something that you'd be cool with, or do you feel like, you know, you guys are pumping? I mean, you're playing the bass and keys at the same time. Do you feel like that's enough for them, or do you feel like introducing something like costumes, or even like like the when you guys first start off, you guys are just like covered in blood. Is that something that you feel like, and like not real blood, fake blood?
Yeah. Yeah.
For this show, I mean, I was brought up a bunch of ideas of what to do, like this EP release show, on if we wanted any like a visual production or anything while we played, but there's nothing we could really do at the moment. But like you said, if we had a big budget, I think that's something all four of us would be really interested in having, is a big visual production live set, as well as us playing the music. So it's a whole experience rather than just a show.
It's a good way
like
to put
concert.
it. Like a whole experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we try to brainstorm some ideas too to like make the show stand out a little bit. You know, even just going with like a different venue. I think it was like we just wanted something different, not like nothing wrong with Sneaky D's or the Hard Luck, but just wanted a different feel, different vibe for the show.
Hired a lighting guy.
Yeah, we're
We've
just
got some little tricks for that
little
show.
tricks.
We got some stuff.
Sinner, we used to. I mean, I had the prosthetic head that I would always play out with on stage, and like I would throw that around, and like I think I had fake blood at one point. I was just always doing all sorts of fun stuff, just because like you got to do what you got to do to make someone be like, I got to go check out that band's online stuff, right?
Yeah.
You need the Spotify listens these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys playing good music in cargo shorts. It's smart. It's smart to do something a little bigger than that. Like we've even brought up before, like them or hate them, like Sleep Token would not be the band they are if they were dudes in cargo shorts playing the exact same music. So
I will say though, I saw them live, and it was probably one of the best, if not the best, live performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, their production was insane. So
the light shows, the dancers, like everything that they brought to it was that like visceral experience of like you're in the music and like what they want you to know and feel. You're in it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
I think that when like I think you guys are younger than us, but like back when music was like really decided by labels and you didn't have like Spotify and like MySpace was just starting to come up and stuff, there was so much manufactured music that it was almost like that's why like grunge happened, because like all of a sudden dudes were just real and they weren't wearing costumes. But now everyone is making music, everyone has music out on Spotify. Like it's kind of the reverse now. Like it makes sense to try to become something larger than your music itself with your visual, because there are a lot of real dudes out there, you know, there's like you can't I can't believe I'm about to say this, I'm gonna sound old as hell. You can't swing a cat without hitting like a real hardcore band, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
there's so much talent nowadays, for sure. You got to do something and bring something a little bit different.
yeah.
I'm curious. So you folks have done this really cool music video EP thing. Do you feel like you're almost digging yourself a hole in the sense that you guys got to put like the next thing? Like we're super stoked about the EP. It's super great. I definitely am telling everybody to go check this thing out. It is super, super cool. But do you feel like for your next release, it's got to be an entire album. So now it's got to be a 45-minute music video that you folks have to do now. I feel like there are bands out there like, I don't know if you're familiar with that one band, OK Go, who are just really known for their music videos. I don't even know if they have like, they've got several songs out there, but like the music videos is what they're really known for, in the sense that like, do you feel like, is that something that you are looking at right now, or your folks are just in the game of like the EP right now? You guys aren't even looking at the next step.
We're thinking about it. We're thinking about the next step. I wouldn't say a 45-minute video is in our budget or in our. But I think that if a 3-minute long music video that can bounce off of the art of letting go in a visual aspect, like a meaningful visual aspect, even like a Heartworm vibe with like kind of the story going behind it, is kind of the way we want to go. But I think we just need to focus on writing still for the next little bit.
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking of albums, or are you guys like more into releasing like singles and just like EPs and keeping it a little shorter?
We've got enough singles. Sorry, I'll let someone else.
I think we want to take it. We're always trying to like one up the next thing. So for me, I really want to do like an album next, but maybe we'll see. But yeah, I think that's the goal, to write a longer collection of songs. So we'll see how many we get done, but definitely, hopefully pushing for an album next. It's kind of what I think would be. Really
and
cool.
with the most recent EP being so conceptual, do you feel like is that something you want to carry into an album? Like to do something conceptual, try to have a through line through it, or do you want to focus on just writing good songs?
I
Not that it can't be both.
I want to say that like we're not really worried about like, I think the key to this is like to pivot instead of trying to say like, okay, I'm gonna do better. The next one's gonna be better. It's like I want to say the mentality should be more like,
we're gonna do different.
We're gonna flip it completely.
Yeah.
Do something completely different, and like that by nature will be engaging because you saw the last thing. Well, this thing is completely different than that last thing, right? So I think it's impossible that like you're gonna put yourself into a corner if you just say like, okay, it's got to be better than the last one over and over and over again. How good could it be? It's like, no, use your skills as artists to like diversify and like do something that's shockingly different than the last thing. I think that's how you really like maintain it. That,
Yeah,
It's a good point.
Yeah, he's really well said.
Thank you.
It's probably a healthier
That
way of
is a
approaching writing too.
Yeah. Don't need.
I really like that. That's some advice that maybe even some other bands can even take. Is maybe not necessarily tell yourself, we need to level up. It's like let's do so. Yeah, I like that. Which actually kind of leads me into my next question. Who came up with the logo? Because it is brilliant. It is the compass with the northwest, east, south, and Sewn. How is that? Who came up with that?
Is that a happy accident with the name?
It was, one day I just thought of it. I don't know how. I guess somehow I unjambled the letters and I was like, oh, weird. It's the compass.
Flipped upside down.
I don't know. And then it just happened to be a reverse compass, so it worked out, but I don't know.
It's so cool. It's so cool, and that's forever. That's forever your logo. You're stuck with it now.
For sure.
Oh, you can't get rid of it. It's the every time I die E. It's the, you know what I mean. It's the friggin' Slipknot friggin' logo, right? No, that's awesome. I think that's super smart, brilliant. Couldn't give you more praise for that one.
Thank you.
I'm curious. How long does it typically take for like a whole Sewn song to be written? Do you folks find yourself like doing it in a band practice sense where you guys jam it out in a room? Does someone come to a table with a riff, or are songs typically completely written and then other people learn it? Take me through it.
Oh, it's
That's a big question.
We've been through the ringer of writing.
Yeah.
it's a
Like we've done almost everything you could think of.
Yeah. We've done it separately. We've done it in a room. We've done it with a producer. We've brought things in. We've done things on the fly. Right now, like, I think we're getting together a lot more and trying to piece it together. But these two will flip-flop ideas a lot.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring it into the room and kind of sort it out as the four of us.
Yeah, kind of like a at-home thing. Jesse and I will bounce back and forth off of each other. But I think going forward, we're kind of more not in a band setting. Like, it's a band setting, but not in a rehearsal room. Like, not in a practice space. It's more like all of us sitting down in Jesse's living room and kind of just hashing out ideas and what we're feeling, what we're not feeling, and that kind of stuff.
I tried to rap one time,
and
then we based a song around the rap, and that was
actually
it's a decent
it's
demo.
a good start. It's like a minute long.
There's a demo.
Yeah.
This exists. There's a demo that someone could possibly send me.
No.
There's not a demo for rap, unfortunately.
There is.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's not good.
Yeah, sometimes you got to try things out, and that's what demos are for, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's super cool that you guys are willing to be flexible with how you are able to go, like you said, through the ringer with writing, working with producers and whatnot. Because it can be tough. Some bands have a formula and they stick to it, whether it be a guitarist writing everything and they're kind of in the driver's seat, for lack of a better term. Or some people need to be in the room bouncing ideas off each other, which I think has always been, in my personal experience, a better outcome when there's kind of people collaborating and spitballing and bouncing ideas off each other. I think that's the best way to do some writing, and it's really cool that that's where your folks are certainly headed right now. That's awesome. Are you looking to tour anywhere specifically? Are you getting planning on doing like anything Canadian wide or maybe provincial, anything like that in the books right now, or is it just the couple, the Ontario circuit right now?
We really tried to get to Quebec this year because we really, really wanted to like hit Montreal and some of the other towns, and it just didn't end up happening. So we're really hoping sometime next year we're gonna hit Quebec, because that would be really cool.
Allie was talking about going out west next year potentially, but that's way far away before even starting to plan that.
Dream big.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything that you bucket list that you want to place? Like let's just say in Canada, like out west specifically, is it Vancouver you want to hit? Is it Calgary?
For me, because I'm from the West Coast, it'd be really cool to hit Vancouver. That's just like a very personal thing for me, though. Calgary pops off too. We saw a band. We played with a band called Our Last Crusade from Calgary, and they freaking rip. Would love to play with those guys down in Calgary too, but I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about the East Coast too, so I think that would be cool to check out. Yeah, for me, I really want to play Montreal. I just heard way too many good things. Like, the crowds are just crazy, and it could be minus 40 outside, and you'll still get a huge crowd of rowdy people just going nuts. So, really want to hit Montreal for me.
Well, mine's more of a dream at the moment, but Europe is where.
Oh, hell yeah!
Where I want to get to it.
Dream big.
Yeah.
Dream big or go home, right? That's what they say. I want to play Australia one day, so you never know, right?
See, that's the
once Europeans like you, they fucking love you. Like, Europeans are so
yeah.
passionate about the music they like compared to like everywhere else on Earth. Like, they love shit over there.
I love shit. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's my insight. What about you, Jesse? Sorry. Anywhere you to play?
I don't want to play anywhere. I just want to go home and go to
Too much bleeding.
It would be. I've always wanted to play Japan.
Oh, that'd be so sad.
Okay.
But to be honest, like I don't really know much about like metal audiences and like what's ideal for like a metal band. This is my first kind of foray into metal as a genre, so like I'm kind of along for the ride. I don't really know where we would be received. Like,
interesting.
I know in the past, like every time I played Montreal, it's like those people are so receptive to like freaky music. I don't know much about like their metal scene or whatever, but like I love Montreal.
Oh, they love metal in Montreal.
Yeah, I bet they do. I bet they do.
That actually kind of segues a little bit into something I want to ask about. So if we were like good at interviewing people, we probably would have asked you the history of the band at the top of the interview. But we like to do things in a very Quentin Tarantino timeline.
Right.
So yeah, and it's interesting that you said that, Jesse. So what? The other three members, sorry, I'm literally looking your direction and assuming you'll understand what I'm doing. Sorry about that. So it seems pretty obvious that you guys are all pretty deeply involved, like into like heavy music and the Ontario scene and stuff. But what was sort of like, what brought you guys together as a band initially?
Well, yeah. I mean, it started with Brett and I like 5 years ago. And we talked about this on the second time we tried to do this interview of us trolling around Kijiji.
Oh God, yeah.
I want to ask about that a bit more. That this question is an excuse to ask about you trying to join bands to Kijiji. but explain the history still, please.
So yeah, him and I have been trying to do music together for, I don't know, like 5 years, 4 or 5 years, 6,
maybe 6 years now.
We're old. We're getting old now. But we went our separate ways for a little bit, and then we came back together, and we were like, you know, we want to do the same thing. Why don't we just see what happens? And it's funny, we had a full lineup when Elemental came out, and then a month after it came out, both of our bass player and guitar player quit. And so it took about a year for us to like bring the band back. But the cool part of the history is that Dylan actually tried to join the band a week after we got our last bass player.
Yeah.
So then out of the woodwork comes Dylan when we're trying to like get back on our feet. And then we had the free space. And then that's the segue to Dylan.
So I joined the band in Jesse's spot on bass. And then we had a couple other guitar players. I'm not going to name names or anything, but we went our separate ways from them, and eventually we had Bryn, who was if you've watched the Paracosin video, he was the other guitar player other than me. He was in the band, and we kind of played 2 shows with him. But let me backtrack a little bit. We were in the studio, and I don't remember why exactly. Valley's like, "Hey Dylan, do you want to play guitar?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" So I ended up on guitar, and then we needed a bass player for our first show, and then that's when we found Jesse Boy over here.
And he's been with us for every show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have too.
Did you find Jesse on Kijiji?
No, we just a mutual friend in the scene.
Vince.
You know Vince from Midas.
Shout out to Vince.
He used to play with Jesse in this band, and he's like, "Oh, I have a bass player that might fit your guys' needs." And
Jesse gave us the grilling of the lifetime.
Yeah, for like 2 months, we couldn't tell if Jesse was into it or not.
I still don't know.
He had like a long thought process. Like it took till after that show, first show that we had, where he was knew, I guess, if he was down to be in fully or not.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about this
Yeah.
kind of music, you guys. Like, I gotta be real.
The car
That's
rides
fine.
are really interesting to bands,
Yeah.
shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I was an internet person, though.
You were band mix. That was the
No, I was
step up.
Vamper.
Okay.
I wasn't even
Vamper.
Vamper.
It's like Tinder
I was Vamper.
for
Musicians.
musicians.
Yeah.
You
So
swipe,
swipe right,
Interesting.
you connect.
Jeez.
Wait, how are there like sample like you like you listen to their demo and make a decision, or is it just solely on what they look like?
No. What instrument you play, like you can have like audio, like demos and stuff and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
If you connect, you can chat and talk about like your interest. I was just,
It's a cool idea.
hey, you need a bass player? Yeah, I'm gonna come audition. Cool.
You guys had mentioned when we first spoke that you had went through a stage of just sort of going through like, I guess like Kijiji personal ads. Is there like a specific section for seeking musicians?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so you didn't have to wade through like weird close encounters and like.
I mean, like we did for fun sometimes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So what are some? Surely you have more than one weird experience doing that.
Oh,
It seems.
Whoa.
Many.
Yeah, so many.
I've heard so many stories.
There we
There's
go.
a guy we call Loghole.
Oh yeah, log.
Basically, he just wanted to play Lamb of God. And then,
They're a great band. I mean,
yeah,
Great
yeah.
band.
And he actually was a pretty good guitar player, too.
But I remember being out in the rain, and our old guitar player Ricky, it's very like beautiful experience in the rain, and we asked Loghole if he wants to come back for a second practice, and he just goes no, and he turns around and he walks away in the rain, and that was the end of Loghole.
I wonder what he's up to now. I'd love to know what Loghole's up to.
I hope
He's in a Lamb of God cover
Cover
band
band.
right now.
Oh, and then there was the guy, the Ninja Turtle guy.
Oh no, I was thinking
That-
about him.
oh, I
Yeah,
shouldn't say his
before
name.
Sewn, we were like trying to be in the prog scene before we realized prog was really not. our thing.
speed. Yeah.
And we had this jam with this guy who's like super proggy, and he made me play to a metronome with the sheet music. I couldn't do it because it was like 250 BPM, just crazy shit. 10-minute long songs, like the first jam meeting someone.
Yeah.
Didn't he get on the kit?
No,
No,
that
that
was a
was-
different guy.
That
That
was
was-
Jackson who played the Jackson.
Uh,
Yeah.
Right.
Jackson, who played the Jackson.
And he just wanted to.
And then there was Marshall who played the Marshall.
Yeah, no, Jackson, who played the Jackson, really wanted to play Metallica. And so he got on my mic and he was like, "You're nervous, aren't you?" And I was like, yeah, show me. And so he did some Metallica vocals, and then he got on the kit to show Brett how to play Metallica.
You got to make your snare sound all fucked up. Here, let me help you out.
You just hi-hat snare.
Tighter, tighter.
Yeah, that's Jackson.
He's like, you're nervous. You're like, yeah.
So the guy who made you play to a metronome and was super into prog and wanted you to read sheet music, is his name Jesse, and he's currently your bass player?
No.
So
No. He was very distinct because, like, I remember his bass was like literally bigger than him.
little guy.
He was a little guy.
Yeah.
Huge.
You know what? I like that aesthetic, though. I like that aesthetic where it's just a tiny dude playing the biggest bass you've ever seen.
Yeah, I was like, how is he doing it?
Super high up, like
Yeah.
right over his chest.
Yeah.
Like, just like this.
Like the Throwdown bassist. Remember, like the tiny bassist the guy at Throwdown had? It was amazing. So Jesse, what is your music background? Like, what do you listen to? Were you in bands before this one?
Yeah, I've been in a bunch of bands, all kinds of different music. I grew up kind of like playing, like punk, like experimental punk music, and like I was in a lot like a really long-lived like performance art type band where there was a lot of like theatrics and crazy stuff on stage, skits and bits and stuff. Done a lot of jazz in the past. I've done like I was a DJ for a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I did like kind of like house electro house music.
Oh my God.
I see
Right before I joined Sewn, I was playing bass in like a pit band for a musical. You know, I was playing bass for like musical theater.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm a really musical person, and like I like to like flex a bunch of different genres, and like just kind of always just challenge myself to do something that I never thought I would do, and this is like the prime example of that. I've never thought I'd do this kind of music, right? But I've done music
Mhm.
that's like, adjacent to this, adjacent to metal, and I love like aggressive, heavy, fucking party music, and like this kind of fits that description pretty well. Um, but my influences are like I love Prince and I love like Michael Jackson and shit.
Okay.
But,
Okay. That's sick.
my favorite band is the Blood Brothers. I don't know if you love if you
We
like,
love.
Yeah.
We
Oh, hell
bring up
yeah.
the Blood Brothers. We bring up the Blood Brothers a lot on our show. Actually,
the Blood
it's weird how
Brothers.
many times we brought up Blood Brothers.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about the Blood Brothers for?
What we just whenever we're talking about like a chaotic scramsy band, we bring up the Blood Brothers and the number 12 looks like you. Those are like our go-tos. Yeah, we love that shit.
Yeah, that's wicked.
I grew up on like At the Drive-In, and like I see you're wearing the Mars Volta shirt. I've seen the Mars Volta. I love the Mars Volta. Francis the Mute is one of my favorite EPs ever, or album, I guess. It's like an hour and something long. Yeah, I feel ya.
You guys know exactly what my shit is then. Like,
Yeah, and I know what you mean too, because the music you listen to is very metal and hardcore adjacent. Like At the Drive-In was like a really like chaotic, like punky, like artsy ass band, and yeah, they fit in with metal and hardcore bands. Like I didn't even know that they were necessarily different growing up. Like to me, At the Drive-In was just another like heavy band I listened to alongside death metal and shit like that. So hell yeah.
Right. That's cool, man. Because I very few people that I've met in the metal scene fuck with that kind of music. I don't even know what you call that kind of music. Like Mars Volta, Blood Brother. It's more like an era, I guess, of like
Post-hardcore, I guess, to
experiment.
simplify it, but yeah.
Yeah. I love.
Mathy, indie.
Yeah. And
What
like
were you gonna say?
and like funk music and like soul music and like hip hop. That's that. I'm all over the goddamn place, man. But I developed like this. You know what? You know what got me really into this metal thing is like the people. The people in this metal thing are just like so goddamn sweet and like so like tight knit and like encouraging for the most part. Like in other circles that I've played, like where music is more of like an academic, like jazz kids, for instance, like that music is their career. So like the harder this guy shreds, the more I don't like that guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
whereas in metal, it's really the opposite. Like if this guy shreds, then I want to talk to him and I want to be his friend and I want to like that kind of thing, right? So that was like a very not shocking, but like that was just like a pleasant surprise when I hooked up with these guys and I saw like all these metal kids are actually like real sweethearts and like they're actually coming up and talking to me, which like is not what I'm used to at shows and with musicians and stuff. You know?
Yeah, no, metal is an interesting scene in that respect for sure. It can definitely be welcoming, and more so nowadays. I think Tyler and I grew up in a bit of a different age where it was a little bit more competitive, and I think we can say we're glad to see it in a positive change and light where people are kind of going like, yeah, like we need to play more shows with you folks, and playing shows is just like you know. It's kind of like I love getting like, oh, we're playing a show together, kind of the giddiness you get out of like with a couple of pals that you're playing with, like
Yeah, absolutely. It feels good when there's people that you care about, and I even feel like sometimes I get like imposter syndrome because I'm like, oh my God, look at all of these cool people and they like our music and they want to play shows with us. Like, I just feel like a big dork. And then, like you see them and they're supporting you and they're singing songs back to you. And like, it's a really special feeling to have.
I wanted to ask what your folks' first show was, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did my band play your first show?
Not the first one, but I think the third.
Oh, the third one. I remember it being one of your first shows. I didn't know if it was your first one or not. Tell us a bit about your first show. I'm more so interested in that. How did it go? Were there technical errors? Did it go over smoothly? Was the crowd into it? Were they not into it? Was it a weird setting?
It was at Duffy's. It was May 19th, 23.
Duffy's.
Yeah.
Fuck Duffy's.
Oh my God.
Minus the sound guy there. It was really
the sound
sick.
guy, his cat.
Oh yeah, the sound guy sucks, dude. I could just shit on Duffy's all day if you guys wanted. It's like this 70-year-old man. It's the oldest guy you've ever seen.
Yeah.
He has no business doing sound. He clearly is just like the owner's husband or something like that. And then most of the time, he's not even at the sound booth. He's upstairs watching the football game.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to be like sound guy and you have to go get him. I hate Duffy's. Absolutely. I'm sorry that you had to experience. Everyone's got to play a Duffy show at least once in their life.
I mean,
to realize that you never have to play there ever.
We would never have a football game on while we're doing work with a band, right? So you're like,
everything's good.
You're plugged in, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like
It's
power wise.
fine. You know what? I'm just watching the fucking football game anyway.
At least now no one will know that you're watching a football game.
Yeah, no, the sound guy sucks in that. Is there anything else that specifically happened? Was it just specifically the sound? The stage in Duffy's is weird too.
Yeah. Well, actually, that show was my first show I've ever played, like in my whole life.
Really?
That was like a really special thing to happen because I was so scared for so long. And then it was great. We had like a mosh pit. We were the opening band.
It was pretty packed.
It was like overwhelmingly good. That show.
Yeah. And then it was all
Well, that's great.
there. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Allie, I'm curious. So this was your first show ever played,
Yeah.
and you also mentioned a bit earlier that you're from the West Coast.
Yeah.
How did you end up in Ontario? And I guess a follow-up question: you didn't do any kind of music back on the West Coast?
No, I was not a musician until later in life, and it's pretty funny. My dad lives in London, and I was like just like a little country bumpkin with a pickup truck and a little dog, and then one day I decided I'm just gonna switch it up, and me and my dog and my truck all drove down to London. But I always really loved grunge music. Like Chris Cornell was such a huge person for me. And when I met Brett, after I moved to Toronto, I was like, I really want to do something that makes me feel good and like makes me feel special. And I just want to feel like I'm good at something. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to sing. And we found me lessons. And within 6 months of those lessons, I was like, fuck this. I want to scream. And then I got on Kijiji. And it was a landslide out there.
Tried to find a band or form a band before you could scream.
Before I could scream, I was trying to audition for metal bands.
I was like, you're crazy.
And Log Hole appeared. That's funny. I guess we could get into what we call a bit of our Bandecdote segment. Now, these are a series of questions that kind of just like not necessarily have to do with bands, but they're kind of adjacent at the same time. Some of them have more to do with like maybe touring. I know you folks said you haven't done a whole lot of it, but maybe this is stuff you could maybe prepare yourself for when you guys hit the road or something. One of the first questions I like to ask a lot of bands, and this is something that you can always do because, I mean, Ali, you just finished saying that you did a huge road trip. What is your go-to gas station snack when you're pulled up at a gas station,
Road nuts.
especially when you're on a road trip?
Road nuts.
I've never seen you eat road nuts once.
I do with Jesse all the time.
Okay, and then
Yeah, roasted peanuts.
Roasted peanuts?
Yeah,
have you ever seen her eat roasted
Road nuts.
peanuts?
No,
On the road?
I sleep a lot on the road, so
Yeah,
I
you
miss
do.
a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Peanuts are a good one, especially when you're driving, because it kind of like I like to do sunflower seeds specifically because it kind of keeps your hand and like your brain kind of going. Actually, Adam Cameron from Cold Shoulder taught me that. He said that's a good thing to do, especially when you're doing some of those long drives.
Like, sorry, Phil. Like not in the shell, right?
No.
Are you de-shelling sunflowers while you drive?
Yeah. It's not too hard. You just gotta like crack it open with your mouth, and then you like spit the shell in like a cup, and then it's a acquired skill, I suppose.
You're saying it keeps your mind engaged while you're driving.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not that hard. I used to ball, so.
What about you guys? Gas station food hack or food hacks? Oh my god, no one's gonna know what I meant.
Let's think about a gas station food hack. You know, you're gonna take some ingredients you find in the gas station. You take some ingredients you find in the gas station, make something new with it, something they don't have on the shelf. This sandwich is bomb. Let's get a close-up of that messy goodness.
If anyone on this channel knows who King Cobra is, shout out you. That's what's up.
Oh, this mother trucker gonna load a whole dustbin full of baked beans. And goddamn. Yeah.
What gas station food? Sorry. Oh my god.
I gotta be honest, it's like whenever we go on the road, it's a McDonald's Mageddon.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Fast food.
just
Yes.
flow of McDonald's non-stop. Yeah.
And we always have to have
That's thanks
coffee.
to Brett, though. Frank's is always, I need my macros.
I'm
And you
always
make
starving after
I know,
we play a
man.
show.
Because you never
I
eat.
want my McDonald's.
I love a good coffee before we roll up to the venue. I need like a coffee. That's cool.
Yes.
Have a monster before a show. That's gonna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I like to shotgun a Red Bull right before our set. Like I just know I don't fuck around. Let's go.
Gets you hype.
Yeah, absolutely.
A snack on the road from the gas station, some sort of candy, like gummy candy for me. Or chips. Depends.
Nice.
Depends. Peach rings are pretty good. And then I know
Brett, I know you said you know when you want to play Montreal. Sometimes when you get out to some of the rural Quebec areas, the best places to go are McDonald's because you can go up to those kiosks and you can turn it into like English mode, and that way you don't have to talk to anybody. You just got to know your number in French. That's it.
That's such a good tip. I'll remember that.
I mean, I've heard well, Quebec don't like Ontario people very much sometimes, so.
I feel like we could be charmed.
That's great.
We could charm.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand French at least. So if somebody's called out my number for my food, I know what I'm going for.
Yeah. I think I'm right there with you. I'm really good at understanding it. I'm really bad at speaking it.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you drink a monster before your set. Is there any other pre-show rituals that you folks have? Anything that you like to do? I like to play a little bit of like an arcade game, something that kind of makes my mind wander. And then, like I said, I like to shotgun a can of Red Bull.
Allie always has her vocal warm-ups that drive me crazy, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a ritual. That's
Yeah.
kind of just.
I think that's a ritual.
That's not a ritual. as a vocalist, it's kind of unique to do that.
I was
A lot of vocalists aren't. A lot of people just get up there and the first 30 seconds is that you work it out.
Yeah. We kind of don't really have any rituals anymore. We have fist bump before we start our set.
Yeah. Every set we do a little fist bump.
We use
That's cute. I like that.
songs, but we don't. They usually go with Jesse now, so it's kind of. I'm usually by my lonesome on the drives, just because of location.
Would you consider Mike Wazowski ritual?
Well, he's been on every show. Every show, yeah.
That's a ritual. That counts.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, he's definitely like good juju on stage.
Yeah, imagine if you didn't have him.
Yeah. I agree. He's got a little dent now. I don't know what I did, but
You bonked it too hard.
I bonked him. Yeah, but he's still kicking.
Do you guys have any biggest rock star moments that necessarily stick out? Anything that made you feel like, wow, this is super cool. I've never done something like this before. And is anything like that ever occurred to you in maybe not necessarily Sewn or maybe in Sewn?
It's a hard one. It's a hard one for a local band.
I mean, somebody asked us to sign stuff. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, people taking pictures is always like really
that
flattering.
too. Yeah. He still has his profile picture on YouTube. That's the picture we have with
that
him.
g's a cutie pie. Shout out to that guy. I don't know your name, but you're a
Matt.
cutie pie.
Matt.
We love you, Matt.
We people like make us stuff or like.
Oh yeah, someone made us
Marissa.
Yeah, no, Marissa made us stuff, but this one girl from Barrie made me these really pretty sewn earrings, and that was really cool.
This is a fun question I always like to ask most bands. Say, this is a theoretical question. You folks are opening up for Metallica. You guys have this crazy unlimited budget for your rider. What's on your rider? What do you want waiting in the green room for you? You can have the green room dressed any way you want. The aesthetic is yours. The sky's the limit. What do we got here? Do we have certain snacks waiting out there for you? Do we have certain video games set up for you? Is there music playing? Give me the goods.
That's such a solid question in general. It's a good thing to ask anybody. Like, what would your dress live?
Yeah.
On the riser, I just would want a fan, like a nice fan.
Dream big.
Like, the dress
Yeah, no, this always happens. People are always like, couple bottles of water.
That's so funny.
In the room, I want a jacuzzi. I want.
There we go.
Karaoke.
I want some
Pool
marijuana.
Oh yeah, you want your big fat joints.
I want like a nice joint after a set.
Am I allowed to say mushrooms? Is that okay on YouTube?
No, absolutely not. That word gets flagged immediately. YouTube hates mushrooms.
Too late.
Just a big bowl. That's what I want.
Magic mushrooms or just like regular mushrooms?
The magic ones.
The fun guy.
Oh, okay. You're gonna want to have those a bit after the set, I imagine.
Absolutely.
No, you want them like 40 minutes before.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting set. You said karaoke. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Oh, I love Avril Lavigne. Like anything Avril Lavigne, fuck me up.
Nice.
Freddie Mercury, absolutely.
Well, we went through a Hinder
Oh yeah, Hinder.
episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
It was Lips of an Angel after every practice for about a year.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That song. There's no beating around the bush with that song.
You don't understand.
Really?
You don't understand what it's like to be as old as me and Phil and have to have lived through the Hinder heyday. Like, it was so fucking annoying.
But you just
That's so fucking funny.
dream room.
My dream room? Are we doing karaoke or? Do we move on from the dream room?
I don't think so.
Doesn't matter. No,
we can do both.
We can
Combine
spitball
them.
anything.
What's your dream karaoke song with your dream rider in your dream room?
I'm a hard no on karaoke, no matter what. Any like, whose birthday was it? Where
It was Brett.
Brett's, yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, definitely, I'll come to your birthday. And then it was like, we're doing karaoke. I was like, all right, well, I love you, but I'm coming to that.
You won't even be present for it?
I won't even be present on his birthday if he's doing karaoke. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Wild.
I hate karaoke, man. Hate it.
It's where his passion for bass comes, is his hatred of karaoke.
Yeah.
You hate karaoke, but you want to go to Japan?
No.
Good luck, brother.
You over there, yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna
They love that.
Yeah, never thought of that. So yeah, no karaoke in my room. And in my room, I'd like to have like some dogs or like some cats, like some animals, like to put me in like a calming, like a calm mood. Like I know that's kind of impractical at a venue. It's not going to happen. Like ideally, like I love animals, so like some kind of maybe like a fish tank or something I can look at.
Cool. I think I just want to wrap up on one more question. What is the dream band you want to tour with? What is the band you want to open with? What is something that you would really want to... Who is someone you would really want to play with? I guess maybe we can go around the room. You folks give me 1 to 3. If there's plenty...
You know what? I have a good idea. Let's do for each of them one local and one like big outside of the scene successful band.
Ooh.
Let's get a little local love in it.
Local love.
Okay. Who's first?
I don't know.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I need to think about this for a second. So.
Nose?
Okay. Oh.
Whose nose?
Oh my god.
Jesse first.
Oh boy. Shit, man. No, I can't go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Yeah. I know. Local Dead Days.
Yeah.
Of those boys.
Hell yeah.
And Currents would be my big band.
Yep.
Cool.
Love those.
Nice.
Love Currents.
Nice. Good call.
I'm drawing a blank on the locals because like there's so many bands I love. I don't know how to like narrow it down. I always love the Scuzz guys. They're a freaking blast to work with.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot recently.
They're going hard. Yeah. Good for them.
Well, on Core Gone Wild, they told us they don't say no to shows.
Yeah.
They say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Unless a member can't like make it to it for whatever reason.
I have one. I would want locally Pot of Greed. That's gonna be my band.
Righteous.
Super sick. Love their vibe. Love the aesthetic. And I think like big bands, definitely for me, Alpha Wolf. Let's go on that Australian tour. I fucking love Alpha Wolf.
Yeah, they're fun.
I think for local, like I'm really stoked to play our EP release show with Afraid. I think they're like one of my favorite local bands right now.
Good live.
Just like heavy groove. I'm like all about that.
The nicest guys ever too.
Super nice guys. Yeah, they just go hard. I'm really stoked to play with them on Friday. So that would be my local. We're going bigger. Oh boy. Maybe like Invent Animate. I'm really into those guys right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's sick.
And they have like a cool presence on stage. Like they don't do the metal thing where they're all in black. Like I like how they're just all in like light white outfits, and they kind of just have like a different vibe around them, a different presence.
It's about the feeling for them, which is cool.
Yeah, they're cool. I'd love to play a show with them. Seen them a couple times. They always nail it. So
Yeah, and by the way, just shout out Afraid. What a sick band.
Yeah, dude.
We loved that EP when it dropped. Like that band, like I didn't know about them basically before the EP, and I just listened to it raw, and I just like was totally blown away how good they sounded on their first release. So
Yeah. And
shout out Afraid. Those guys are crazy.
Hell yeah.
Oh, they're so good live. I'm so excited. Another imposter syndrome moment when they said yes to the show. I was like, really? Yes.
Me, I'm gonna go for. You guys know the band Meth for local?
Meth?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how local they are. I feel like they might be Chicago or not. I don't know, but I got this EP by Meth. Amazing band. Terry Green, my buddies in Terry Green. That's I think they're kind of
cool. Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, I know Terry Green.
Shit, man. I don't know what kind of bigger band. Maybe like the Locust if they were still around.
Oh
you guys know
my god, what a name drop. Man says he doesn't listen to metal and name drops the Locust.
You guys are dope, man. I can't believe you.
I love the Locust was sick.
It's one of my favorite bands. Yeah. That would be a dream to play with the Locust. That's kind of might fit. I don't know.
No, it definitely would. That's sick.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. I think those are great answers. And I think that can bring our interview to an end here. Thank you, folks, for doing this for us. We really appreciate it. I want to roll out the red carpet. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything? We tell everybody to definitely go check out the new EP. Definitely go check out the music video that goes with it. It is an experience. It's super rad. But is there anything that you want to plug or give a shout outs to before we call it a day here?
Shout out to you guys for having us.
Yeah,
you guys
sure.
are dope.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. The first people to say that when we ask what they want to shout out.
The answer you've been looking for all along.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys have always been really generous and nice at doing reaction to our videos and stuff. So
yeah,
we're super excited to see your reaction video.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, no, we were excited to watch it. Yeah, I remember the first song we took a look at was like Fractured Anatomy, and like in our locals only and stuff like that, like we do cut a lot of stuff out just for time and stuff like that. And Phil was just gushing about like the show we played with you, like when we were listening to Fractured. We were just like, it was crazy how much emotion was captured in that song, and following you guys on your journey, like it's been sick. Like I loved Heartworm when I heard it. Like I listened to Heartworm like every day for a month. Like I fucking love that song. So yeah, shout out you guys. How about that?
Well,
shout out you guys.
Thank you.
Shout out you guys.
Yeah.
No, shout out you guys.
It's never gonna end.
Be here for the rest of the night.
Why is this interview 7 hours?
Oh my gosh, someone not coming into work today.
Yeah, good talk to you guys. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
No, our pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Oh my god. All right.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Stop. We gotta just snip it. Snip it in the
Yeah.
butt.
Someone cut it.